Tusum Sangye Tam Jeje Ngo, Rizan Jenguru Janzo Chabda, Kardin Tsumba Mepe Deje, Pandan Nama Tambe Shabje Do, Chama Meba, Gowe Rabdo Dude, Gosum Goba, Chembe Cha Zashin Japso Chewo, Chewa Ne, Tsarab Tamje Dan, Rawar Meba, Jeso Zondo, So. Sunyang Zhuju, Jumang Jiko Ne, Rugun Hingna Shidi Baljende, Tarbe Lamso, Jigalan Jowabo, Shaje Wangbo, Ninge So Sho. Kangjin Shendo, Tuden Rinpo Je, Yinje Sadun Denwe Shindaba, Shiwa Tsoda, Soje Lama So, Pawe Loben Tsola Jigdo Gu. Sabji Mendo Duzi Dani Je, Lozhe Langzo Juru Chaje De, Tuden Norbü Chela Uyongwan, Jangwen Lama Namni Nyingwe. Tsaragondo, Sisi Tanyele, Tamke Samer, Chage Yongsong, Changchub Yingbe, Lamken Karma Ba, Meche Debe Jewe Zoge Nyen. Chudu Jagun, Bemanjong, Donga Songju Temba Belwe, Chinzi Weze Jawe Nyugo So, Tisho Tembe Yangzen So Wande, Yunde Sangye Kundan Yamna Yang, Gardin Sangye Lejang Hawaii. Zawe Lame Shabla Chaza Ne, Dasun Rowe Lamna Je La Chong. Good morning. I would like to remind you bodhicitta, and you know how to generate, so I don't need to explain. Bodhisattvamaņyāvalī kadam lebon Rinpoche, zadi changchub sempé norbü trengwa shechawa shoso, dekar kyodo Bodhisattvamaņyāvalī pekedo, changchub sempé norbü trengwa tuji changpola chasalo, lama namna chasalo, tebe lala chasalo, tesum tamje bangchashin, rublan nenden jesosha, nimu lelo rabangcha, datu zunjum bebarsha. Zendang, xexin payo be wangbe guo nam gudu song, yinzin tusum yangdang semje yula dabarsha. Dage nyepa, dachashin, xingji chuba zamesha, dage yun ten, bachashin, xingji yun ten dabarsha. Nyedang gudi bangchashin, kedar dato bongwas, doba chungshin choshi da jela chendo sowarsha. Chamdang nyingji gongchashin, changchub semne tenbarsha, miki chunne bangchashin, dado teba tenbarsha. Chodang aja shomchashin, membe semdang tenbarsha, lobe chowa bangchashin, chuji chowa chowarsha. Sangsing tamje bangchashin, pabe noji tenbarsha, nunzi tamje bangchashin, gombalana nebarsha. Chagwe tsinang bangchashin, dado ngane donbarsha, lama kenpo tongwese kuwe rimdo jebarsha. Kangsa chuji mixin tang ledang boye simpian la dunben dushe jebarsha. Simpian tamje tongwese pamang busen dushe je, dikwe chobo bangchashin gewe shingning nyebarsha. Dangdang megi stem bangchashin gangdo dewan rowarsha. Kanganayang chakwa bangchashin chakwa meba nebarsha. Chagwe denroang metopjing, tarwe sosang jebarsha. Gangdo dewe chotongwa deru dadong bebarsha. Tomar zamba kanyingba tangbur tingni drubshate, teta nani kunleche shendu nigan ruminyu. Dado dila gachalwe gangdo towe semchungse, tese ngachal jasashin lamye dama chambarsha. Shumbe tsemne chungwe semje singne dobarsha. Niga tongba nido gom, gangdo chadang yu chungse yuma drubwa shindu da. Minye tsilam tobe se chasha shindu dawarsha. Lula noba chungwe se onje leso dawarsha. Alright, now next. Wete gomba ramneshin rida shiwe roshindo dagi dani bachashin chagwa meba never cha. Anyway, that's good. Okay, now explanation is 3 days ago I did explain there are two. One, meditation, and the other one is the post-meditation. To me, this is a case by case. To me, it's more practical that if somebody go out and deal with the situations and walk with the situations and accept the situations as they are, and then you are able to progress your practice, and you will know how much the improvement that you have made in your practice. But some cases, if you failed to do this, or if you really still face very difficult to accept things as they are, then the suggestion is go to retreat. Yes. This is a not good choice, but this is the choicelessly you have to choose. And the purpose of hiding in retreat is that you are so scared with the distractions. That's the only purpose, that you are trying to escape or run away from the powerful distraction. You feel much relaxed, and that you can bring mind into the focus. And you experience in the retreat that you can develop the further and the further your practice. So therefore, as the Gampopa said, or Le Tangpopa, the beginners, if you fail to fight directly with the distraction, then the next choice is then escape, run away from the distraction. And Jase Tome Sambo, in the 37th practice of the Bodhisattva, when he explains about the benefit of the retreat, or solitude retreat, he says, once you give up the negative object, which is the distraction, the benefit from there, what you can receive or gain is decline the disturbing emotion. Because in our lives, the most of the time, or most of the cases, these powerful, the disturbing emotional forces arise from the object. The pleasant things, then the desire arise. Unpleasant object, after meeting this unpleasant object, then like sort of anger or something like unpleasant emotion arises. So all the emotion caused by the objects. So therefore, if you keep distance, the so-called yulingen means that the negative object, then gradually you can experience the emotional forces will be declined. Then once you being away from the object that cause you the restless your mind, then then no more distraction, right? No more distraction in the retreat, in the solitary retreat. So when you are able to reduce the distraction or feeling of the distraction, then the practice or the virtuous action will be developed. Then you can experience the clear aspect of the mind, awareness. So clear, because the mind is totally free from the distraction, and you can experience the totally clearer of your mind, and to become clearer and clearer. Then there you can the firmly rooted the certainty of the mind. Then your mind can completely enter into the Dharma practice.
Yeah.
So we must remember these three qualities. The number one is they reject the negative object. Number two, and then avoid the distraction. And then number three, because of these two, then one can enter into the genuine Dhamma. This is just example, not so important. So you're not necessary to be like a dead body, but it's just giving example like in a long time back in Himalaya or in Tibet, there's not much people care for the dead body of the deers or animals in the forest, or then hardly find in the dens of the forest. So likewise, it means that you hide yourself because you are so scared to touch the mundane world, because this causes the mind restless. Therefore, abide independent, free from the distractions. All the practices in the Hinayana Mahayana, Vajrayana, the methods, the skills for the purpose of the decline our clinging and the grasping or holding tightly to any objects that cause you desires or anger, these the forces of the emotions. So therefore, all the methods, all the practices in those teachings are all for decline or dispel our strong clinging. That's why many of practitioners, sometimes they make mistake in the concept of the practice of Vajrayana. They think that we should accept the things like the emotions, like as a really emotion, where you practice or you apply things. So this is a very the mistake, big mistake in the practice. In the Vajrayana, all the methods, the practices there, or meditation or technique, whatever there, is for transform, because they realize the negative emotional forces are no other than our true nature of mind. So they realize. So when these forces arise, by the skillful means, they bring it into the Dhammadhatu, or back to our true nature of mind. So that is the power of the transformation. It's not that we accept the desire as it is. It doesn't mean that we accept the anger as it is in the characteristic of the emotional itself, but rather because we realize these are no other than the true nature of our mind in the sense of Dhammadhatu. So therefore transformation comes. Doesn't mean that, we practice so we can accept everything like that. So any practice we do, it's very important to change our minds from our habitual the ways to move towards the virtuous ones. Why we always fail apply the Dhamma practice accordingly? Because you see that our habitual tendency is so deep and so profound, and we so much get used to with it. It's so difficult to work with that. If you do not apply the remedies and the practices constantly, 1 month, 1 year, if you feel, that's too long, I did 1 year practice, that is very short, because the habitual tendency is there from the beginning list of the time. No matter which realm you are, but the habitual tendency is there. We are so used to these the disturbing conception, right? So therefore, in order to make it separate from you, because the negative or disturbing the concept, the conception is not our nature. It's not our nature, but difficult to make it separate because we too much used with it. So therefore, making separate these two, my true nature, and this is so-called the temporary, the disturbing conception, making separate is rather difficult unless you apply those powerful remedies and the powerful methods. And then another consideration that you need to pay attention is simply abiding in the retreat or remain in the retreat is not enough, is not sufficient. In the retreat, you need to examine your mental attitude. That is your prime responsibility in the retreat. Shantideva says, sometimes if you misuse the Dhamma in the retreat, then instead of declining your negative forces, it may increase, right? So the location, the place of the retreat is not important. And the number of months, the years you are in the retreat is also not so important. If you are in the retreat, in the short period of time, if you really be so attentive with your practice and examine your each and every single attitude of the mind, body, speech, then the day by day, you can make a big changes. So if you are able to make big changes, then in short period of time of the retreat, you can gain a tremendous benefit. So when you come out of the retreat, then you can give good example to others, encourage people go to retreat. Because like me, you say like that. So otherwise, when you go inside the retreat, same. Come out, same. Maybe more, little bit. So therefore, every second, every hour, to check, to examine our attitude, mental attitude, motivation, are very important. And like this time or any other time, you are like in the teaching or in the teaching ceremony or the Dhamma activity in the mandala or in the ceremony. So while you are in the teaching, of course, each and every time you hear this kind of precious teachings, and you may think or you may feel, yes, I need to make a change, and I have to make change, and I have to really be so serious with my practice. But problem is when we walk outside, out after the teaching, or after the practice, after the session, then if you fail to walk with your emotion, walk with these discursive thoughts, walk with the daily life, and you fail to apply these teachings which you have been received already, but fail to apply. So this takes longer, and delaying your practices. And then you can't see the benefit from your practice. Then the laziness starts. Then you might think, oh, no use, practice. I have spent like 20 years, 30 years I have been practiced, but not much benefit. So you feel discouraging, So these things, to avoid such negative circumstances, one should be so attentive. Everyday life, that's what I said a few days back. If you do that, so that is the everyday retreat. Best is that choice. Then you can, there's not much burden that you experience, say that, oh, I have a family, I have a job, I have no time to do retreat. But instead of that, why don't you apply the everyday retreat? It's simple. It's just for you to pay just attention. It's so simple. Okay. Tado idam tencha sing, lelo nyomle sem jungce, tese dala ngen rang sing, tu shu ningbo chamber cha. Tado idam tencha sing. Okay. During Dhamma practice, the certainty of your mind is very important, because sometimes you don't have enough certainty, or maybe parents influence you become a Buddhist practitioner, or sometimes maybe because of environmentally there are more Buddhist practitioners, then you feel, okay, I would like to become Buddhist practitioner. So that is not enough. So Kadamba tradition, they always tell you, okay, check your motivation, see the situation, have wisdom. Through the wisdom, see which way is the suitable, which way is the suitable, which practice is suitable, and check thoroughly, check carefully. Then you enter into the Buddhism or into the whatever religion. But then from there, you have to gain the certainty. Idam means the certainty or determination. You have to be very determined and move towards to practice, to complete your practice, to complete your study, complete your realization. In the practice or during the practice, of course there are some unexpected like obstacles. There are some obstacles like the physical sicknesses and some mental disturbances, and there are some unwanted circumstances or unfavorable circumstances arise. This is very common. So should not be discouraged because of these. Then how? Like Milarepa's life, Jawago Tsangpa, like Naropa, Marpa, those great masters really gone through hardship their life, but never give up their practice. As a result, they have achieved the realization in their single lives. Shantideva says, I quoted from the Bodhisattva Avatara. He says here, for over countless and the vast number of eons and lives, I have been cut, stabbed, burned, and flayed alive innumerable times. But I have never awakened, which is true in the hell realm, in the human realm, any other realms that we have gone through all this suffering, but never achieved any benefit. But, he said, the suffering involved in my awakening will have a limit while you are doing practice. It is like the suffering of having a small incision while the doctor is doing operation. So, small incision made in order to remove and destroy the great pain. You are so impatient with the discomfort while you are doing practice, but funny thing is you are so patient with all these unnecessary pain and the suffering in these 6 realms. Endlessly we are cycling in these 6 realms and are going through all this, like Shantideva says, a stab, a burn, and a cut, always. But yet still you say, oh, don't mind, I don't care. So you're still going around and around. You are so patient and you're so kind to them. But while you're doing practice, a small, uncomfortable or unfavorable circumstance comes, you complain, say that, oh, when I do meditation, I got a back pain, so can I lie down? So like that kind of, because I received this kind of information. Yes. Not through the YouTube or Facebook, but person. Yes. So I can prove that. And then they say when I do meditation, I get like a chest burning sensation which disturbs me. So should I stop? Then you are expecting your expectation is yes, but they say no, continue. Then you feel bad. No? You would say this teacher is not so kind. So those things, so complicated. So you are very impatient. So the Shantideva says, change it. Try to be impatient with those unnecessary suffering and pain, and be patient with the suffering and pain while you are doing practice. Because this suffering and pain is very limited, but others are limitless. Yeah. And he continues, Shantideva, in the Bodhisattvamaņyāvalī, even doctors eliminate illness with some unpleasant medical treatment. It's true. If you have a tumor or some serious disease inside, the doctor will never say, okay, eat sweets, cakes, ice cream, then your tumor will be gone. No. They will cut, make incision, they put the tubes inside. So a little bit up, down there, like this. So, you see, there is some unpleasant medical treatment. So in order to overcome, that is for what? That is to overcome your pain and the suffering of the disease and the illness. And in order to overcome like this kind of limitless and the needless pain and the suffering, we need some unexpected pain and suffering while you are doing practice. The physically discomfort, mentally a little bit disturbed, and some unexpected lot of things that unpleasant or unfavorable situation will occur. But this is very normal. But you have to be patient. So therefore, overcome the limitless suffering. To overcome, I should be able to put up with some discomfort. I should accept these discomforts. Yes. And when this kind of unpleasant surgery or some unpleasant medical treatment, when the doctors perform, and you appreciate with the doctors, so after that you say, thank you. Thank you making scar here. Thank you doing all these things. Because you feel and you say, because this helps me to remove my tumor, my sicknesses. The same thing, maybe somebody irritate you or push you, pull you. You are very impatient, right? But at the same time, you should think, oh, thank you doing this because you are helping me to overcome my anger. Yeah? You are helping me to develop the patience. So therefore, the Bodhisattva Jaya Avatara keep instructing us, be patient. Whatever the negative circumstances come to you, you should accept. These are all for your practice to progress. Tado idam tenchashi. Lelo nyomle semjungse. Laziness. Lelo means laziness. So laziness is the biggest obstacle to the practice. Then the nyomle. Nyomle is like you regard yourself, sometimes you feel like I'm worthless to the practice. So this is not for me because I'm not suitable to this practice. So you're discouraging yourself. So that kind of negative thoughts arise. So you should examining your own fault and your own wrongdoing, and so try to realize your weaknesses and the faults and the mistakes. Then you are able to firmly to root it with your practice. Tushuk Nyingbo temperature. Tushuk Nyingbo means they think of essential the morality. So you remind yourself that being so lazy, then wasted life from the beginning of the time. Now this life, I have been obtained the precious human life, and I met up the great masters, and I received the profound teachings. If I fail to make useful or meaningful of my life, then what about as a result in the future? Very difficult to be obtained such precious human life. So therefore, now I should awake. I should awake. You are sort of like you are in a deep sleep. So by remembering these things, that helps you to awaken. So in order to eliminate this powerful ignorance and the ego, and all kinds of methods is needed to be applied. Whichever suitable, like yesterday, is it yesterday or the before, like Kangdo Dewe Chotongwa. Yeah? Wherever the origin of every joy is seen, then we should apply. Yeah. As the Patrul Rinpoche says, I should take care of myself. So this means I should look after myself, not look after others. Means like every time we like spying others, yeah, and check others. But instead of that, check yourself. Check my motivation. Check my mental attitude. Check my behaviors. So this way you can deteriorate all the negative actions, and you can improve and develop the qualities. So this is our study. This is our contemplation. This is our meditation. Kalde chenda tongye shidal songbor nawa tang chonyi ngosum pangja sing dadun zumji nebarcha. Whoever, friends, enemy, or strangers, doesn't matter. To whoever, if you seen them, this is kind of improvement. Try to improve the behavior and morality. So manner of the peace, the truthfulness, and honest, the loyalty is very important. Does not simply mean just show your big smile. It doesn't make sense, right? So here says that show your smiley face, and tell the truth. This means be very truthful. The truthful in your practice, and be truthful with others. In order to help other sentient beings, you have to be very truthful, and you have to be very loyal. You have to be very honest. So this way, and you can help others. So the behavior or the morality is important. And on the other hand, it could be meant like the bodhicitta, the compassion, the loving kindness. If you do practice this, then because of the influence of these, from these compassion, loving kindness, and it will be beneficial to others. They can sense and they can receive the valuable, how valuable the bodhicitta and the compassion, like Milarepa and those great master, surrounding like even the like wild animals, also their mind become very peaceful, harmony, and gentle. They don't attack each other. Rather, they become so friendly to each other, because these are the power of the compassion, loving kindness, and the truthfulness, and the honest, and the loyalty. These qualities do have such power to change their mind. Therefore, you have to show a smile. Don't show a long face. So they will be very happy. So whoever see you, so they feel very touching. Say that, oh, such a nice person, good heart, always smiling. Yes, I hope so. You can try. But not artificial smile, genuine smile from the depth of your heart. That is as a result of the being practiced of really the compassion and the loving kindness.
Yeah.
All right. So I will leave here. So the next we can go for question and answer. I think it saved the time. I think maybe the most of you know. Yeah. Right. Okay. Very beautiful question. Anyway, your point is, can I make it short?
Yeah.
Okay. So you try to tell is Vajrayana is rather complicated for you because of the initiation, because of the mantras, because of these deity, that deities, and the Theravada practices and the Kadamba teachings are suitable to you, right? That's it, isn't it? Okay. Yes, true. Vajrayana is very complicated. If you become complicated, that's the thing. Because I have to be very honest, because all errors and the mistake come from the human, not from the practice. Vajrayana is very profound teaching and a very skillful the teaching. Yes. But lately in Tibet, and also after Tibet in India, because it's too open, I have to be very honest with you, too open and culturally mixed, the Vajrayana. Yes, I have to be very honest, yeah? So culturally mixed. Like you're talking about like this kind of tankas you hang on the wall. And till today, like in the east part of the Bhutan, my country, and so see, ego is there again. So they always cover the tanka. They never open. The particular this wrathful and the union stuff, this kind of tankas, they always cover. Only during the big performance of the puja, they will only open. But if outside people come, they will cover again. Yeah. So that is the authentic way of, the system of the Vajrayana. So lately, too open. So everything is open, right? So, and then the recitation of a mantra has their own strict. And empowerment also, there is a strict. They don't perform so easily. So they will check the receivers, like audiences, they will check what practice that you have done before. Are you really suitable to receive this empowerment or not? So therefore I said the culturally mixed lately and then too open. Therefore, then the human brings a misconduct and a misbehavior. So it mixed. So therefore become quite sad image in Vajrayana Buddhism. This has nothing to do with the Vajrayana practice itself. It's so pure, so nice, and so powerful, and so profound. But because of the human, the mental, this kind of dualistic mental attitude, so misuse. So therefore, not much benefit. Not much benefit you can experience. First, I want to say that. Therefore, then there is no thorough study system in Vajrayana. The easy concept, Vajrayana is something like performance, like doing puja or hanging all these kind of things, the statues, the wrathful and the peaceful and the initiation. So people easily have this kind of concept of the Vajrayana. There's no thorough study, but the teachings are there, commentaries are there, and the Tantra root texts are there, the commentaries are there. So profound and so wide the teachings are there. But in Tibet, there's not much, unfortunately, the thorough study. That's why so little bit deteriorate because of the human, yes, human. Theravada, they're still on the right track because their main principle, study practice is to tame your mind. And they are very much and emphasize all the practice on the moral grounds. So morality is very important for them, like Vinaya, your behavior, the body, speech, mind. So morality is very important. So therefore, they encourage you to protect yourself, guard yourself. And so they don't have much things like that, or tankas or whatsoever. They live so simple life, and they are very much on the principle of the developing the morality. The moral grounds are very important for them. And Mahayana as well, not much having. So therefore, I think not much really complicated. If you really pay attention, as I said, really if you become very attentive, and if you really touch the teachings of the Vajrayana, then I'm quite sure you will become very attentive, and you so devoted and very interesting. You become very interesting with the practice of the Vajrayana. Yeah. So then, I'm sure, Mr. Uva, you will become good practitioner. He's my old friend. Since my first time, 1991, I have visited Denmark. So ever since I met him, didn't change much. I'm talking about his face and his humor, sense of humor really didn't change. Of course, inside, big change. Okay?